I reviewed the Beach Boys album, The Beach Boys in Concert, released in 1973 and produced by the Beach Boys. So this is an album that I only got a couple months ago. I think that, so like, well, it's only been until recently really that I've been recently started buying vinyl because I didn't have a record player for a long time. So finally got one, finally started buying vinyl. So before when I was buying CDs, this album was always kind of expensive because it's a double album. I still think the CD's like, I think it was like $30, which is why I got this. Because I was like, well, I'd rather pay less and get a cool vinyl than pay like $30 for a CD. But anyway, it's got, opens up here. It's got all these cool pictures. At the back. Pretty cool album. You see the lineup of the band for this album. You got Ricky, Al, Carl, Dennis, Mike, and Blondie. This is actually the last album, I think, with Ricky and Blondie. Or no, I think this is this is the last album with Ricky and Blondie. So this album also doesn't have Brian on it. So I think that's also kind of one of the other reasons why I hesitated to get it for a long time, because I was a big fan of Brian. So just a live album without him wasn't something that kind of interested me for a long time. But I kind of regret not getting it earlier because it's actually a really good album. I think I don't know if it's my favorite live album of theirs, but it's probably the one I've been listening to the most recently, just because of the tracks on it. It's got obviously double album, so it's long, and it's got a lot of good songs on it. I mean, for me, it's almost, I feel like a greatest hits almost. I think that some people probably wouldn't feel that way about some of the songs on here, but I don't know. So it's going to be kind of a short review for live album, because I'm not really going to talk about most of the songs other than to mention what's on here. It starts with Sail on Sailor, then Sloop John B, The Trader, which I think it's cool that they did that one off Holland. I really like that song, and I think it's a good performance of it. Then they do You Still Believe in Me from Pat Sounds, which this one, Al, since Brian's not here, Al takes over the lead vocal on. I think he does a good job here, but it does definitely sound a lot different live with Al singing than it did in the studio with Brian. And then they do California Girls, Darlin', Marcella, which unfortunately that's like the only track on this record that I got that skips, and it's the song that I was the most excited to hear, and it's the only one on the vinyl that skips. So and it doesn't like a couple places, so it was kind of disappointing. But great song. I really like their performance here too on this album. I think it's good. The 8th song, Caroline No. Carl sings this since Brian's not here, and I think he does a great job. But the 9th song, Leaving This Town. Then Heroes and Villains, Funky Pretty, Let the Wind Blow, which I think is great here, and Carl does a great lead vocal on it. Then Help Me Rhonda, Surfer Girl, Wouldn't It Be Nice. Then We Got Love, which is actually kind of weird because I think it's a song that was meant for Holland, but it's not on there, and it's not on any of the other studio albums. It's a Ricky and Blondie song, and it's kind of similar to like their style of songs that are on Holland and on Carl and the Passions, and I like it. I think it's pretty cool. I've only heard it a few times, so I'm still kind of getting used to it and getting to know it, but I like it. I think it's a song that I'm gonna, definitely enjoy more over time. Then it's got Don't Worry Baby, which it's kind of interesting here because I think that it's like Al and Carl kind of both sing on it, and it's kind of weird to hear like Al kind of not be able to completely do the vocal part. Like, he does, and he does sound good like singing it, but he kind of like strains compared to like to Brian singing it. and then Surfing USA, Good Vibrations, and it ends with Fun Fun Fun. So, Beach Boys in concert, I think really cool live album. And it's got this lineup of the band with Blondie and Ricky, which is cool. This is their only live album. I think they've got some other like people helping them. I'm not really sure what they play, but they've got like some other musicians here too. So the album's got like a good kind of sound to it. Big like a good like full sound to the performances, and I think it's taken from like a bunch of different shows. But yeah, definitely a cool live album. I'd probably give it a 5 out of 5 because I think the track listing's really good. I think the performances are all pretty good. Really just is entertained me, and I think a fun live record every time I've listened to it. So yeah, it's another one I really like. I think like this like just like all the post Smile Beach Boys albums. I think I really like, and I think that some of the albums coming up next, a lot of people think are kind of some of their weaker albums, but I think I'm gonna kind of disappoint the people who think that for a while. At least people that don't like their next couple albums, my ratings are probably gonna get worse for a while before they get better. But anyway, rambling. So yeah, definitely a great live album. Definitely